Cardinal fans, and welcome to the Uiw Coaches Show. I'm your host, Karla Bello. The Uiw football team concluded the 2018 season with a 35-14 loss on the road to the Montana State Bobcats. Looking back on the season, the Cardinals achieved new heights this year by receiving a top 25 national ranking, earning a bid to the FCF's playoffs, and winning a share of the Southland Conference Championship, all first in program history. Head coach Eric Morris was also named the 2018 Southland Conference Coach of the Year, while John Copeland was selected as the Freshman of the Year. Additionally, the Cardinals had 4 first-team and 3 second-team all-conference selections. What a great first year for Coach Morris. Men's basketball dropped 2 games last week to Northern Colorado and Southern Illinois' Edwardsville, and women's basketball fell to Weber State at home. Cardinal fans, don't go anywhere. After the break, we will have our men's basketball head coach, Carson Cunningham, with us next. Hey Cardinal fans, joining us today we have the men's basketball head coach, Carson Cunningham. Hello Coach, how are you doing today?
I feel strong. Thank you for having me.
Coach, your team had a high performance against North Dakota State University in Las Bahamas last week. Do you do anything different to prepare for the game? And what was the key for this win?
Well, it was a very nice win, and I was happy for the fellas because they battled back from a deficit late. We threw some jump traps at North Dakota State and helped us get a rhythm. Then we got momentum on our side and just kept scrapping and fought our way to a victory. I think it was like maybe our first Division I non-conference neutral or road victory in a few years. So I was really happy for the guys. It was not easy, and they stuck with it. And we almost did the same thing the next day versus a really good Florida Atlantic team, which I think was 5-1 at the time, and lost by a bucket. And so, we wish we could have a couple plays back in that one. But all in all, I thought we played really well in the Bahamas, and it was good to see the guys get some positive feedback through their performance.
Coach, your team had a high performance in the first half against Southern Illinois' Edwardsville. What do you think changed during the second half, and what did the team learn from their performance?
Yeah, we played well in the first half. In the second half, Edwardsville hit something like 17 of their first 22 shots. That made things very difficult for us. So we got to figure out how to stop those runs. I felt like the guys were locked in and battling, and then they got a spread there, and then really just started draining shots, and we got to somehow keep the runs from occurring. So if we can maintain quality play for longer stretches, we're going to have a much better chance to win. So we're going to get a chance to heal up, rest a little, get ready for a December 4th home game versus Trinity. We got Des Ballantyne is still recovering from an injury, and so is Romello Wilbert. It'll be nice to get those 2 guys back. It'd probably be another 3 weeks, so that's we just got to hold the fort down and keep battling.
Coach, can you talk about the significant contribution of PV in this season so far?
Yeah, Christian's been playing great ball. He really has taken a good approach to being coached and just working no matter what the score or situation, and being competitive and attacking the rim. We just want to keep developing that and try to help him develop more branches to his game as people start to key on his drive game. And I'm excited to see where he can take it. He's been playing really well for us, particularly in the last few games.
Coach, how are you planning to prepare for the game against Trinity University?
Well, the first thing, as I say, guys get rest, and then we need to take some real time to practice. When you're traveling and playing that many games, you don't have actually as many opportunities to have real legitimate kind of super competitive practices. And so that's what we want to try to get now that we have more of a body of work of games. And just keep developing and staying positive as we try to get better and go from there.
Hey Cardinal fans, joining us today we have our women basketball head coach, Christy Smith. Hello Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing well, how are you?
Good. Coach, how do you feel about your team's performance against Weber State? And what did your team learn from this game?
I was very pleased with the way we came out. We've been struggling a little bit with starting the games or our third quarters, and I thought they did a really good job of coming out, knocking down shots, playing hard, getting after it. So we just have to find a way at this point to extend that into multiple quarters and not have a quarter where we're playing well and then a quarter where we're playing bad. So I think they understand that, and it's just a matter of continuing to improve each game and each night that we have practice.
Your team came out strong and led the first 2.5 quarters against Weber. The defense forced 6 turnovers. Can you talk about that sequence?
Right. One of the things we've been trying to improve upon is playing 4 complete quarters. And we'll play 2 or 3 good quarters, but not quite 4. And so I thought our team did a really good job of coming back in the fourth quarter and fighting back. I believe we cut a 15-point deficit within about 3 minutes. And so getting up and pressing and finishing the game they did a really good job with, but not allowing ourselves to be in that situation in the first place, I think is something that we really have to improve upon.
Could you talk about more on Angelica Wiggins' performance?
One of the reasons we recruited Angelica was because of her scoring ability, and her when she was in junior college, she was able to put up a lot of points for them. And so I think it's just taken her a little bit of time to adjust to the level that we're playing. But I think you're starting to see what she's capable of doing. And so hoping that we can build upon that and continue to see her score 15, 20 points a game for us.
Do you do anything different to prepare for Weber State? And what were the positives that came out of the loss?
So each game that we go into, we have a scouting report, and coaches sit down with the players and break down the game as far as offensively, what are we looking for, defensively, what are we looking for. And so yes, each game is different. And so obviously you want to score more points than the other team in the big picture, but each game that we go into is different, and there's a different preparation for everybody that we play.
And finally, Coach, what are your expectations for the game against Arizona and for the rest of the non-conference play?
I think with the difficulty of our non-conference, it's just to help our players understand that this is building us towards conference, and to continue to improve every night that we step on the floor, and that whether we win or whether we lose, we have to learn from it and we have to grow and improve.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, and we hope to see you next week.
Thank you.
Cardinal fans, joining us today, we have the fencing head coach, John Moreau. Hello, Coach. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Good, Coach. Coach, the men and women competed at the Vassar Dual Meet recently, and both improved their scores from the same tournament last year. Can you give a brief summary on the Vassar Dual Meet Invitational?
I would love to. Again, the whole team did very, very well. The women's team especially did exceptionally well. From what I calculate, they won 6 out of 8 matches.
Yeah.
I think they won maybe 2 or 3 last year.
Wow.
And the men, pretty sure well, you have to understand, we didn't really have any people in one weapon, and then you just give away 9 bouts in a best of 27, that makes things really tough. So they really improved as well. Our Sabre team did much better. We only lost to Vassar and Stevens Institute of Technology. It's a very strong program. So we were able to win against, actually Sacred Heart for the men too, but we beat Hunter, Yeshiva, Drew. So they were doing very well, and our women just were exceptional. Both the women's and the men's épée squads did very, very well. Our best improvement was in the foil.
Wow.
And saber. Vast improvement from last year. Really excited to see what we can do against an upcoming meet this weekend.
Wow.
Much harder, much stronger competition. So we'll see where it goes.
Coach, what are some of the key points the team was able to learn from this past meet? And what are the takeaways from the meet as well?
Again, the athletes started out, some of them started out very strong. Some of them especially our freshmen, were a little bit scared. They'd never been in that situation of a collegiate meet. So once they got the jitters out, they just stormed and just ran away with it. I was really proud of them to bring themselves up from their losing their first or second match, bouts.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, Coach. And finally, how is your team preparing for the meet this weekend?
Well, we had practice this morning. We have practice every morning, 6:30 to 8:30, and then they're able to come in the evening for open bouting, and hopefully they'll be able to hone their skills. This week we're trying to point for the meet. It'll be our last meet. We only really have 4 meets during the year.
Wow.
And so, and when we go to these meets, they're large meets with many different schools. So there's no way to prepare to train because we're not allowed to train that long. Over a whole day, they'll be fencing about 8 hours, and we're not allowed to train them that hard. No, it's not really feasible as well. They would break down. So you train little by little, and you build your stamina up, and hopefully maintain that concentration throughout the day.
Wow. And one last question, Coach. What are your expectations for this meet?
I really don't like to have expectations because this is combat, and it's between 2 teams and then eventually individuals. So it comes down to each person. Hopefully, my expectations are that they will perform to their best ability. Now, they may not win the match or the bout, but as long as they perform the best of their abilities, more times than not that they'll come out on top.
Yes, well, Coach, thank you so much for being here today, Coach, and good luck on this upcoming match.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here.
UIW women's basketball goes on the road to face Arizona on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. for the lone team action this week. Make sure to stay up to date with UIW sports by following us at UIW Athletics on all our social media platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. For UIW Athletics, I'm Karla Bello. Have a beautiful day.